Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of the True Earth Debates. We are excited to get things rocking and rolling for you guys. Almost had a bit of a technical issue. Luckily, things have managed to work themselves out, so no worries. Well, we did end up doing two lives today. Is all earlier in the day. So you guys know it's going to be a little bit of a mix. We're going to do a pre-recorded live that we did from TikTok earlier, and we are also going to be opening up the panel. We'll also be addressing Bob the Science Guy's video on trying to debunk the recent time-lapse star footage from the airplane Zurich to Sao Paulo trip. Should be a pretty good show. Excited for you all to join me. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. We already got 6 legends over on Rockfin, one of the greatest platforms to be on if you are a truth seeker, someone who doesn't like censorship or horrible algorithms that don't really show you things that you're looking for. So here we go. We got Jeremy Bird. Oh, awesome. $20 donation from Jeremy Bird. Much love, my friend. We appreciate the generosity. We also got Big Pine Sailing as well. What is up, my friend? And, of course, 4 others. Welcome to the show. All right, Flat Earth Gary over on the YouTube firing off. Justin Johnson with 5 troubling Tribune memberships. Excuse me. We appreciate you. Whoever wants to go, grab them up. Welcome to the Tribune tribe. We got Michael Bogan, Jeff, Killerman Kakazu, Wes F.E. We also got Flat Earth Gary, Bob Gnarly, Plain Reality, JD on YouTube, Philomania Pacheco. There we go. It's not a show until I butcher a name. James, what is up, my friend? That is James Waterworld. We also got Lisa Severe, Question the Answers, Rutherford, Mario C. All right, who else do we got? Justin Johnson, of course, we already shouted you out. Callaway, Crusher, Big Pine Sailing, Michael, Roger Kelly. All right, nominal, I think we got them all. The Ubercast, what is up, my friend? Awesome. All right, I think that will do it. Oh, and of course, Tapered Bodies. I've shouted everybody out. That is your early bird special, if you will. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on in. I see some people piled on into the Rockfin. We'll shout you out real quick. Jared, Steph, Donald Hill. What is up? All right. Everybody's been included. It's going to be an awesome show. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and pull right on in. We had a few guests, had some dynamic conversations. Somebody did step up to the plate for the Star Trails, the time lapse. So we'll see how well they step. All right, let's go ahead and get on in. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you in the chat on the other side. What is up? Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the True Earth Debate. We're going to get things rocking and rolling here in just a moment, so sit tight. Like, share the show. Let's get this audience up quickly so we can have the conversation. Flat v. Globe, the spinning, wobbling, precessing space pair versus the stationary topographical plane. Welcome to the show, everybody. Whoa, what is up? Vincent, legend in the house. How are you doing, my friend? We also got lots of others joining in soon, I'm sure. As you guys know, my position, Earth is flat. Join if you disagree. No interrupting. No monologuing. Let's get to it. Super easy. Jump in the box if you disagree with me. I believe that the Earth is a flat, stationary plane with no curvature, and we are not moving through space. There's no scientific evidence exclusive to the globe, exclusive to the heliocentric claims whatsoever. So, if you believe that I'm completely incorrect, and please feel free to come on in and share your evidence with the rest of the audience. That way we, too, can formulate our own educated opinions, right? It's a little bit of a spoiler. I have looked into a lot of this stuff, and I tend to just not agree, right? But we can get into the specificity of each claim as they come. Much love, everybody. Thank you for joining, sharing the likes. Let's get this thing up to 5K ASAP. And most importantly, share the show with your favorite Glober friend that you think needs a good flat smacking. Super fun. What is up, Red Shade? What is up? Thank you for liking the live. Benton PD. What is up, my friend Gregory Petrillo? Welcome, welcome to the True Earth debate. We got the flat stationary plane versus the wobbling, spinning, precessing space pair. What is up, my friends? Got the tea ready to go. That way I don't get triggered, right? The last thing we need is a triggered Tribune. Excuse me. Globers have been quiet lately. It is unfortunate. But hey, we got 33 in the chat right now. Illuminati confirmed. If you believe that Illuminati has just been confirmed, then make sure you smash the heck out of the likes. Let's get this thing up there. It's a pair. I saw it on TV. It says Pops the Legend. How astute of you. I often generate my intrinsic world beliefs, about where I am, who I am, the nature of reality, off of things I've seen on television. Welcome to the show, guys. Let's get things rocking and rolling. Big Daddy Flirts a lot. Welcome. Thank you for liking. 5G Jameson, welcome to the show. What's my take on aliens? Government propaganda. It's a bunch of nerd toys they're trying to cover up for technology that they have already had. That mixed in with a little bit of their demons, right? The typical flat Earth rhetoric for that. But it is true. It's what I tend to believe that there's evidence for. In fact, there's like a whole secret base of where we're like making the UFOs and stuff. Pretty simple. Much more believable, right? If you are a Glober, wouldn't you believe that it's more believable that the aliens are just unknown human technology instead of being something from billions and billions of miles away? Anyway. The demons. What's that about? Who knows? Who the heck knows? Interdimensional disembodied beings. What is up, Bratterall? Thanks for the follow. Guys, make sure you are smashing those likes. You guys are doing great. Let's try to get somebody who disagrees in the box. As you guys know my stance, Earth is flat. You join if you disagree. I just ask that you don't interrupt and you don't monologue, right? And I should add in don't troll, but that's an obvious given. We want to have a real conversation, right? Plain stupidity, bad monkey. Please jump in the box and save me from my ignorant flat Earth belief, right? In fact, we'll go ahead and get into our first piece of flurf evidence, right? Boom. This thing is right here. We'll go ahead and start with the strongest right off the rip. This is going to be hilarious for you guys. Cannot take this into account. So here we have at least 2,000 miles, but it's debated that it's up to 3,000 miles. A plane flight, Zurich to Sao Paulo. They took a time lapse over part of the flight. Here you see the starting position of the stars, and there you see the ending position of the stars. And notice how the sky has just merely rotated and has not actually, risen up, right, as would dictate over the globe. Go to Taboo Conspiracy. You can watch How a Pilot Ended the Globe, Part 1 and Part 2, if you want to nail it on home, right? They do it both ways, north to south and south to north, and you can see in both directions that the sky is not raising up through the course of the time lapse. No debate. If you have proof, round or not, flat, by calling it a debate, you legitimize the theory. You're absolutely hilarious, dude. I think it's rude of you to not give the globe earthers a chance, right? I mean, I know you look around, and obviously it operates as if it's flat. We build bridges as if it's flat. We shoot radio waves, electromagnetic waves as if it's flat. And yet, we're going to assume that it's a ball? I know. It seems pretty crazy, and like we shouldn't really be giving credence to this theory. But I'm not a jerk like that. I think that maybe there is something possibly to it, and I'm open-minded to having my mind changed. So, by the way, TikTok, these are my opinions, religious views, if you will. So this conversation does fall under the free speech. You cannot mess with that. Don't strike us too hard. We love you. Awesome. Thanks for the platform. What is up, Mick Globster? Welcome to the live. Laura, awesome. Sharing the live with more than 10 guys. That is how we get this show going. Excuse me. All right. Do you have a mind to change it? Well, that's very philosophical of you. I tend to think that there is a mind, right? So, yes, I think that I could be open to having my opinions and worldview changed based on really good evidence, right? But somebody would have to address the fact that these stars don't change the necessary degrees as required by the globe, right? That would be just ridiculous. In fact, let me pull this up for a second. Let's see here. It was 69 degrees or 69 miles per degree. So we're going to have, let's clear this out. We're going to have at least 2,000 miles that we can agree on. Divvy that up by 69 miles. It's going to equal 28.9. So we got 28, we'll just call it, degrees of upward lift that we're supposed to observe in the sky during this time lapse, and we do not observe it. Therefore, the plane is actually not dipping around the curvature of the Earth. Simple, right? Simple, demonstrable, repeatable. People are free to go and take their own time lapses from flights, right? Get your own north to south, south to north. That way it's very easy. And we can't rely on the rotation as an excuse. Here you can clearly see the sky has rotated as expected, but it has not lifted up by 28 degrees, obviously. Ken Brandt, flirts are hilarious, hilariously accurate. I agree. I wouldn't want to jump in the box either. Awesome. With that, we actually do have our first guest, the real Jesus. Oh my goodness! I hope your sins are being forgiven.
Hello.
What is up, my friend? I hope that you're not trolling.
So, can you explain this to me? What do you mean there's 2,000 miles missing curve?
Perfect. Yeah, so 2,000 miles missing curve. We have a plane flight right here. It was from Zurich to Sao Paulo, and they do a time lapse video of the stars. Now, this is one way that you can indicate your position over the Earth, right? Obviously, you're flying over the geometry, over the globe, and that means that the plane does, whether you want to say it's due to gravity or due to it adjusting automatically, I don't care. I'm not here to debate how the plane dips over the globe, but we have to agree that it does physically to maintain altitude. And therefore, when you're looking at the stars, even though they are rotating, you will see up a displacement as you go over the curvature. You'll see the stars diving up. You can actually see this happen in Google Earth very easily. Very easy to spot this out. So during this flight, I actually took the photo of the beginning and the end, but it is actually a video that you can watch. You can go to Taboo Conspiracy, How a Pilot Ended the Globe Part 1 and Part 2. They actually do it both ways, north to south and south to north. And in both of them, you'll see that the stars do not shift upwards as the plane is going over the curvature of the Earth, which would indicate that there actually is none. So in this, it was at least 2,000 miles. It can be argued that it's up to 3,000 miles. But even in 2,000 miles, there's supposed to be 28 degrees at least of upward shift in the stars. And here you can see that it clearly rotated, but where did it shift up, right? And during the video, you can see it doesn't shift up at all.
One might argue that just looking at that picture is not enough to see really accurate measurement. Have you
So
thought
what would it
about?
mean? Can I ask this question? What would it mean if I'm going, say, southwest, and I see the stars rotate, but I don't see more come up, from the horizon as I'm dipping over the as I'm going, out, right? What would that mean for your worldview? Would that mean anything at all, or
You didn't answer my question.
you didn't really state a question? You had a statement.
Looking at your two pictures, it does look like it shifts up.
Yeah, I'll move out of the way so you can see very clearly that it doesn't. And just watch the video too. You can see during the video it doesn't shift up at all.
You're capping.
The best rebuttal that I've heard from this is somebody, Bob the Science Guy, trying to take a ground view and comparing it to the view from a plane that's 30,000 plus feet up. Absolutely hilarious. It's obviously not going to be the same view. As you have a higher elevation, you're going to be able to see a bit more. So this observation makes complete sense on a
Oh,
flat plane, right,
how
where the
far?
stars are not
You said how far? How far should it shift up, sir?
28 degrees at least. It's actually 28.985 degrees, but I round down to 28 degrees for the sake
What
of
did you
quote.
measure? What did you measure it at? 0?
So so this is known from celestial navigation. The stars will shift by 1 degree for every 69 miles, supposedly.
Okay. How? I just don't get why you think your pictures are a good way to measure. I mean, you clearly see. I can see it rotated. Sure, I'll give you that, but
Absolutely.
you're missing accurate measurement there. I think of how far it shifted up. Is that it probably did shift up. You're just not. You're not. You're
So,
not
real
getting it.
Jesus, I'm going to be completely straight with you. When looking at the sky, do you know how much 28 degrees is?
I don't.
It's huge. It's huge. So when you're looking, think about this. Looking from one end to the other is 180 degrees. That means if we're looking straight up to looking over is only going to be 90 degrees. So looking at a section of sky that you normally look at, it's about 40 degrees or so. We're talking about a shift that's more than half of what you see of the sky at one time.
I
It
just
should be
want you.
obvious.
It is obvious to me.
You think that this has shifted up 28 degrees instead of just rotated down by 4 hours? That's how long the time lapse was. You can literally, like this, you can actually measure if you want to go ahead and track this out. 15 degrees per hour, right? That's how much the stars move, supposedly. So you just track that. That works out
I
perfectly for 4 hours.
I think you should have had your buddy in the destination take a
Are you ready?
picture at the same
Real Jesus, this
same
is the best
time.
part. This wasn't like a, so don't get confused, right? This isn't like a hardcore scientific measurement. This was a non-partisan. This was a non-party. This was just a pilot that has videos of the sky as they travel. He didn't mean to add any evidence to this debate, but that's what ended up happening. Regardless of what you're trying to claim as measure is, it's not an accurate measurement. I just made a demonstrable claim that the amount that the stars should shift is more than half of what you see of the general sky because it's 28 degrees, right? And we're seeing about 40 degrees or so. So, with that being said, how can you tell me reliably that you're seeing 30 degrees just about of shift upwards? Like that means that these stars would have to be like think about this. These stars would then have to be up over your head, and then would then rotate from there. And we're not seeing anything like that. We're
Are you
literally seeing it as if it's completely flat.
are you tracking on the same point in the globe?
So this was taken from. So we actually use Google Earth and as the as the check, right? So when you do this on Google Earth, you can see that the stars shift up. It's very obvious too.
All right. I'm pretty convinced you're an idiot. Goodbye.
See ya, real Jesus. That's what people do when they don't have a actual argument for it. They'll just say you're an idiot, ad hominem, and hop on out, right? But we'll just do some quick math, right? Just based on looking at it. I know that the eyes aren't the most accurate thing, but we can talk generalities, right? And we have 15 degrees per hour, 15, 30, that's 60 degrees, right? If you look at this amount of shift, it's obviously not quite 90. It's not 90 degrees. It's, it's about 60 degrees to me. But of course, nobody would come in here and try to address this claim with any kind of specificity. Brown Hound.
G'day,
We
g'day,
got one other
Tribune. Hey,
person in the
buddy.
box as well. What is up, my friend?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Doing awesome. What do you have for us today?
Mate, I've got to jump out, but I will keep listening once I jump out of the box. I just had one observation and wanted to get your take on it. There's been an experiment done where they travel from west to east on a plane and then east to west, and they weighed things, right? And I think they got lighter as they travelled from west to east, and their reasoning for it is, or why they did the experiment is, if the centrifugal force counteracts gravity, then if you lessen the centrifugal force, which is traveling west to east, things should get lighter. They did the experiment and it did. So yeah, I got to jump out of the box, mate, but I will keep listening. I just wanted to get your take on the experiment and the results and what it could mean. Thanks for having me, dude. Take care.
Sure. Yeah, appreciate the question round out. I'll be honest, I haven't actually looked at that specifically, so I'd have to look at the details of it. But um, without that, it's really hard to make a determination. Maybe there is the same thing that they're using for Mach's principle with the force being translated from the universe rotating around us. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. I know that there's a lot of misconceptions with what people think things are in physics. For example, the time dilation. But without further ado, JC, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. What do you have for us?
Thank you. I'm really curious about how the stars spin in the different direction on the southern hemisphere versus the northern hemisphere, because this is something that's just always kind of perplexed me.
Sure. What if, and just hear me out on this, right? I know this might be hard to wrap your head around. What if the things happening in the sky have no correlation to what's happening on the ground? As in, what if there's literally just two separate points of rotation in the sky?
Right. So essentially, then, like, the stars could be in a sphere around the flat plane. Is that what we're assuming?
So in what I conceive, it seems that the stars are like a flat plane above the flat Earth, and I base that on us having measurements of curved visual space. None of these are taken into account into the geometry that we're seeing in the sky, and so it would make more sense that the spherosity that we're observing, the geometry of that we're observing, is actually our curved visual space, and we are dealing with two planes. As far as like the optical convergence point, it could in fact be, like I said, there could in fact be another rotation point or multiple other rotation points. It doesn't mean that we are the thing that's rotating. That's just kind of the assumption
Right.
for the globe side. But I've conceptualized it in multiple ways, that there are 4 different rotation points, that there's one other rotation point, and that all the continents layout is a little bit different than what you see here in the AE, that they're more pointed down, and thus pretty much looking exactly like a Mercator projection, except for the top, the distortions that they have at the top being corrected, which actually makes it look like it's kind of pulled in. But in any case, again, I don't have a definitive answer for it because I can't go up and actually see what's going on with the stars. You know what I mean? Just
Certainly.
guesswork.
Right. Yeah. Because that's like the one thing that's really kind of hinged for me to question, because you look at pictures from the equator versus in the southern hemisphere versus the northern hemisphere of the time lapse, and that's really like the only thing that's kind of preventing me or causing me to doubt otherwise what scripture would say, and that is we're on a fixed stationary plane, as is stated in Job 38, where it's pressed down like like underneath a seal. So anyways,
Right.
yeah, that was my number one thing that I'm just trying to reconcile. So thank you.
Sure. Yeah, speaking of the time lapses of stars, were you here for earlier in the show, or did you just jump in?
No, I kind of just showed up. I saw 2,000 miles of missing curvature. I was like, this seems interesting.
Nice. Yeah, just real quick on this one. There was a go-to taboo conspiracy. Look up How a Pilot Ended the Globe, Part 1 and Part 2. They lay out the argument very clearly. And you can do the work yourself. You can actually pull the original videos in, track the stars, and you can see that they don't shift up. They're supposed to shift up about at least 28 degrees on the low end, but up to 43 degrees on the high end. Excuse me. And you'll see that it doesn't do anything like that. It actually just shifts about 60 degrees to mark the 4 hours for the time lapse, as you see here, the before and after. So it's a really interesting observation that's been made by a non-party. They weren't a flat earther or anything like that. They were just doing time lapses, trying to put something cool on the internet. and they ended up debunking the globe, unfortunately.
Yeah, my coworker is actually former Navy, and he was telling me that they have such powerful telescopes on their naval ships that they can see 6,000 miles away, which
Really?
them in the Navy, they always joked about, oh yeah, and the Earth is round, right? So, anyways, I appreciate you taking a chance to answer my question. I'm still concerned about how that happens, but I guess it's a non-issue. So.
JC, if you want to learn more about that, go to Witsit Gets It on YouTube, and he does a schooling. It's funny, he calls it schooling the Globers, right? Because we get so much hate. But he actually does one on the star rotation, and I think that breaks it down very well on how curved visual space can provide a solution for how it is that we're seeing the phenomenon in the sky. So that would be my advice for you there. But thanks for coming
Thank
on,
you.
and feel free
Yeah.
to jump on again if you have any other questions. We'll go ahead and knock them out.
One more thing to say, and that is, because I've studied mathematics, I got my degree in math, and hyperbolic space and Euclidean space, are completely different, and so things that are curved in hyperbolic space would be considered a straight line, or vice versa. I can't remember. So that's just a fun little piece of information as well. Based upon our senses are deceptive. So, all right, go. Kick me out, or how do I end this thing here?
I got you, man. I'll go ahead and let in the other guests. Hermes, welcome to the show. And JC, thanks for coming on. We'll see you next time. And also, if you can get one of your buddies who says that they could see 6,000 miles with the telescope across the horizon, that'd be awesome. Definitely send them my way. I'd like to have an interview. Hermes, welcome to the show.
Yeah, just a quick for JC. If you're in the southern hemisphere and you look north, the stars are rotating from right to left, like a big wheel, right? So then if you walk to the North Pole and look south, the stars are still rotating the same way, but now they're going from your left hand to your right hand. So it's just a giant wheel spinning above your head. But what these people do in the videos is they go to the South Pole, they look up, they're rotating from right to left. Then they go to the North Pole, look south. The stars are still rotating right to left, but because they've turned around, it looks like they're going from left to right. It's a simple answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does answer the...
Answer for JC.
It answers the... JC's no longer in the box, but it does answer the perspective issue. But it doesn't really answer the optical convergence issue, which that's what I was hoping to introduce with the hyperbolic space in there. That explain that.
All right. Well, that's as far as my information goes. Have a good day, mate.
You as well, Hermes. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, JC, like I said, if you could get one of your friends that claims to be able to see 6,000 miles with the telescope to reach out, that would be fantastic. I have actually that would be a record, 6,000 from the ground. All right, we got whatever this is. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. What do you got for us?
Boom, what's up, man?
What is up, my friend?
No, I just had a question in regards to I hear some what are your thoughts on the southern stars? I hear a lot of like people debating on they see like, for example, if someone's on down south in one place and they could see, like, I think it's the same star, if I'm correct. You can't see it from the north, and they see and then they see another star, like a south star on the south side. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it right.
Are you talking about the way that the stars drop as you travel over the land? And then,
What was that?
And then they eventually get to the horizon, you can't see them?
No, it's I think it was the Southern Cross. I don't know if you heard that.
What about it?
I think that they could I forgot what they were trying to say, the video, but they were making claims saying that
I don't know what you want me to do with that.
I forgot, man. I think I might have to go back and watch it. I thought that you might have known the argument, but yeah, I'll come back on that.
I think the argument from the globe side is that there's a southern crux that people can see, and therefore Earth is a globe. when you call out that, well, no, that can exist on both, then they say, well, no, you couldn't see it all from the same time. And then you point out, well, it's not nighttime all at the same time for those places, so that's not a thing. Anyway, so again, the sky doesn't necessarily correlate to the ground. It's a very unscientific way. There's no variable or a control. There's no way that we can actually call that scientific or demonstrable. So it's not really worth addressing too much.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to go back and take a look at it. Thanks, man.
No worries. Thanks for coming on.
Yep.
Excuse me. All right. What is up, guys? We got an empty box once again, 7 shares, 4.1 likes. Dude, let's get that up to 5K. We are almost there. I'll help you out just a little bit. We'll go for just a little bit longer if we can get another Glober in the box to address any kind of argument. We do have other things that we can talk about, of course. Let's go ahead and pull up. Where is it? And now I'm having some trouble finding it. There we go. Boom. All the different evidences for FE. We got mirror flashes up to 183 miles, radio waves 2,700 miles, sonar 400 miles, long distance photography confirmed 275 miles, microwaves 250 miles. All of this except for sonar is actually by line of sight. So this would be proof of the plane. There is no obstruction. There is no hump of land or water getting in the way of these signals, thus preventing their propagation. We shoot radio waves as if they are flat over the flat Earth. Here we have, let's see if we can pull up that Marconi article. Boom. This is from Marconi, who sent a wireless telegraph, the letter S, 2,200 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. This was the report. Says the Canadian of the wireless telegraph test by Marconi City Clerk McKellen, a disciple of the flat Earth theory, in an interview at the St. Catharines, argues that if Marconi has received a message from Cornwall, England, at his receiving station in Newfoundland, the fact proves the fallacy of the generally accepted theory that the Earth is flat. This is actually from the Library of Congress. Feel free to screen capture. Make sure you get your source and go check it for yourself. Right? This was hilarious. This is like back in the 1900s. So from there, they ad hoc the rest of what they needed for the ionosphere, and then we still have them going 2,700 miles, over 100 megahertz, which is, unfortunately for the globe, strong enough to penetrate right through the ionosphere. It's not going to bounce off. So how are we getting signals sent so far? Makes no sense if we're on a ball. Makes perfect sense if we're on a flat stationary plane. Awesome, guys. We got the 5K. You guys are awesome. Sick. Let's do a quick poll. We haven't done a poll. Not a text one. Just a quick one. Smiley face if you are questioning the mainstream narrative of where you live, and a crying face if you think you just got it all figured out thanks to the spoon-fed narratives from the mainstream media and the public education school system. Brandon Decker, we got a live one. Glober in the house. What is up, my friend? Globers eat their soup out of a ball. That's hilarious. Don't even know how that would work. Explain season difference between U.S. to Australia. They're on completely different sides of the plane. It's based on the relative position of the sun, same as it is in the globe model, right? Relative position of the sun over the Earth. That's how it is in the flat Earth too. Relative position of the sun over the Earth. It's going to be making a tight loop. Let's go ahead and pull up a little map for you guys. Appreciate the question. Go ahead and take a look at behind my water droplet. You see the FE map there. There is the tropics that you can imagine near the equator, or that ring there, and the sun actually goes between them. That's why we get the analemia, where we get that small ring when it's the north, and a wide ring when it's the south, right? Thus proving, by the way, that it's a much wider trek that the sun is making in the southern hemisphere plane. So yeah, that's how the seasons work. Your sun moves around the firmament constantly. You're so funny, dude. When did I invoke a firmament? Try to keep up with the claims, right? I haven't done that yet. And if I did, I think the sun would probably be under it within this contained system. So then why is there 24 hours of sunlight in certain places? There we go. Now we invoke the firmament, and now we do the coffee caustic, the way the light travels around the rim of it. Only happens when the sun is close enough to have that light reflecting that far. A good way to test this would be twilight times. It's actually, I believe, a known thing that twilight times in the southern hemisphere plane are much shorter, but who knows, right? Maybe somebody from Australia can do the test and prove us wrong. Brandon Decker, what is your political party? Political parties are for brainwashed sheep, in my opinion. Right, left v right. That's like saying heads v tails on this effed up coin. Just not about it. If I had to pick anything, though, probably be libertarian. They don't know that they can't back up why this happens. Super funny. Yeah, I don't know what the firmament's made of. Stuck with it. Do you have a real question? Something that can like verify the claim one way or the other? What the heck is dark matter made of? Get real. Or the height. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a lot of things, right? I don't claim to have all the answers. If you just want hypotheticals for how the flat Earth would work instead of the demonstrable evidence for the fact that you have been lied to about your home your entire life, then it's like not going to be a very productive conversation. It'd be like, man, I found out I was adopted from my parents. Like, well, who's your real parents? What color hair did they have? What car do they drive? Where do they live? Like, I don't know any of this stuff. Claiming the firmament as far as like a conception, right? It's a conception. Necessary antecedent, if you will. There's not millions of scientists and engineers, I don't think. Is there? Is there millions of scientists and engineers with first-hand knowledge that the Earth is a globe? I don't think so. Demonstrable evidence would be the plane footage that I showed earlier. We'll do it one more time. And this will be the last time that I go through it. If nobody hops in the box, we'll go ahead and hop on out of here. TikTok, we love you, but we're not going to sit here and keep talking to ourselves. Right, we got 2,000 miles of missing curvature that we notice via the lack of displacement in the stars. These stars right here are displacing 60 degrees clockwise, right, as we would expect to see. Just boom, easy peasy. One thing they're not doing is they are shifting up while they're doing that. That's what we would expect to see, them shifting up. All right, and we got 4 hours. We got 28 degrees of upward displacement. That's a huge, huge chunk of sky. And look, it's obviously nowhere to be seen. You guys have no answer for this if you're a glober. This is 2,000 miles plus of missing curvature. Probably one of the best evidences that there is against the globe and for the flat stationary plane, if you're being intellectually honest, right? Don't take my word for it. Go to Taboo Conspiracy, How a Pilot Ended the Globe, Part 1 and Part 2. Two different things. And you can also go and do your own research. Go and you can find dozens of Star Trail time lapses from planes. They never shift like it's expected. Doesn't happen. Hey, Amanda, what is up? From the Mellow Tribe. Y'all go check out, by the way, huge chance to plug. If you guys are still with us, then you're obviously a fan. Right? Go check out the Mellow Dome over on YouTube and Rockfin, where the best souls roam. They have great conversations. We're on there all the time. We just did a whole show on sigils. Was killer. Ben from Taboo Conspiracy is definitely one of my favorite globe busters. Nice. If you guys didn't know, your boy is also an honorary globe buster as well, officially. So go and check out Globe Busters Thursday and Sunday. George, sayonara. Nobody needs that negativity, right? 33 Illuminati confirmed once again, 6,000 likes. I think we're going to have to call it. We don't have any Globers jumping in the box. We'll do a final call. Globers going once. We got Globers going twice. Mark, what is up, my friend? Appreciate you appreciating the content. You guys are awesome. I shared it to my favorite globes, but none of them come. They never come. They don't want a piece of MrTribune. I'm just kidding. It's really funny because it doesn't matter really who I have on. If I have Witsit on, if I have Caleb on, usually people just run. Your live is condescending. That's why. Super funny. Super funny. I'm only condescending when you guys don't jump in. All right, we got one more person in the box. This will be the last call. Riz Lawden. Nice. Here we go. You got to come in and debunk the 2,000 miles of missing curve claim. Possibly convert me into a Glober here and now. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tribune. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Okay, so it's almost 1 a.m. here, so therefore I can't speak like I normally would. And I just wanted to say, you came on earlier. Why don't you do this live at UK times?
I didn't have very many people jump on earlier either. So
No, you literally came on for a minute, I think it was. By the time I'd seen your notification, you'd already gone off.
Some guy jumped on, claimed that he had proof of the globe because he was a radio engineer,
Yeah.
and that he was shooting signals 20 miles to the radar horizon from 6 feet. And I said, that debunks the globe. I put it in with the refraction, and it was still 50 feet below the curvature. How in the hell was he doing that, Riz?
By you guys lying.
I'm lying. I'm going to post that on my YouTube at the clock.
I'll do, yeah. You post it, but what I'm saying is, I'm more than happy to debunk you on this Stars 2,000 Miles live video.
Please.
And I've told you already in the messages that you're incorrect. I've tested this out scientifically in every way. You're incorrect.
All right, enlighten me.
But the thing is, what I realized is that you and your Flat Earth homie don't do any kind of research. If I asked you what are the two brightest objects in this video in the celestial sphere, what would you say they were?
Yeah, that's a red herring, right? It doesn't address the actual issue that we have two pointer stars directly pointed out right on the band of the Milky Way galaxy. The markers are clearly visible. You can measure the shift yourself. What specifically are we incorrect about?
Your claim of missing however many degrees you say you're missing. You're not missing even 1 degree.
Not even one. Wow. Do tell.
Well, one of the objects in the sky is Jupiter.
Okay.
Did you know Jupiter was right in front of your face on that video?
Sure.
No, you didn't.
Maybe.
Don't lie. Tribune.
It doesn't matter.
Saying is, I know that this is not you putting the video out. I know it's your friends telling you to do this, but they're telling you lies. So I'm trying to help you out here.
Yeah, nobody told me to put this out. I actually grabbed this myself because I thought it was a great evidence. Here's the thing, Riz. Instead of like just poisoning the well and trying to attack the character of people who present the evidence, we have the evidence right here directly. I have the pointer stars circled. You see how much they change. The full picture for both is in view. So can you please show where this upward displacement of 28 degrees has occurred?
Okay, so what I'll say is, if you do a live in the daytime or even in the evening in the UK time, I'll fully explain it to you. But I'm not going to do it 1 a.m. at midnight.
You said you were going to
UK.
You said you were going to debunk me, and then now you're saying that I have to come back and do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, what I would like you to do is get the guy who made the video,
I can't.
how a
I have
pilot.
no connection with Ben, by the way, just so you know, except for that we're both globebusters. I've never
Oh,
talked
you're
to him.
both Globebusters, okay. Um, if the thing is, I need to address the person who made the video, not someone who's his public spokesperson. So that's
That's
what I'm
so fun.
saying.
Why can't you just say that I don't want to address the arguments?
I do want to address the arguments. Okay, um, let's just destroy one of your fake claims right now, then. Yeah.
Okay.
So, how fast does the Earth rotate, Tribune?
Why you always keep asking me? So 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. But again, what does that
Okay.
have to do with anything? The
Okay.
star
So,
rotation?
yeah,
We see that right here.
Flat Earth is like you to use that as a way of saying we're spinning around 1,000 miles an hour when you know that the rotation's only around 0.025 RPM. Yeah, which is virtually
So
nothing.
no, you only changing the scale of it or changing the what's it called? I can't remember what I'm brain farting on the unit. You changing the unit of measure means nothing to me. It's a thousand
Okay.
miles per hour or it's point 0.2 whatever the heck you said. Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
so here's how I destroy the lies that you're telling. In the video of the Google Earth representation of the stars meant to rise up, you're making the Earth spin at 20 to 50,000 miles an hour.
You're talking about just the way that he shows it when you dive over the curve of the Earth.
Yes, you're trying to fool people with lies. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's actually incorrect. So I didn't use that other than to show that if you do dip over the curvature of the Earth, the stars do in fact shift up. It's not a matter of, it's not a scaling issue as Globers try to claim it is, right? And they also try to claim that we don't take into account the rotation. I absolutely did. I even did that with the amount of hours,
Okay,
right? So in this time lapse, there's 4 hours, right? 4 hours of time lapse. How much star rotation is supposed to occur in 4 hours?
okay, so in 4 hours, let's assume this plane is traveling 500 miles an
It's
hour.
60 degrees. The stars rotate no matter where you are on Earth. 60 degrees in 4 hours. $15 per hour.
You're just talking about rotation, yeah?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not to the other stuff yet. I'm talking about the rotation that people try. That actually you just tried to claim I don't take into account.
No, rotation you're not seeing here in terms of the way that the plane is moving. Do you
You
believe that the
definitely see
plane
rotation.
do you believe that the plane is going directly south or
No,
southwest?
no, it's going southwest.
No, the plane goes four different directions.
So during that part of the time lapse, right? Yes, there's a correction in the very beginning, but then it's a straight shot. Do you know how planes work?
No, I know how planes work. I'm saying that he took four different directions while he was already when he was in the air after he'd taken off.
So we can see the heading based on the Milky Way there during the time lapse. So we don't have to rely on that. I did it from when the heading was here. You can still see the heading still right on. It's just the Milky Way is turned. So again, Riz, your claim doesn't hold any water.
It holds water. So what I would say to you is that for every 69 miles that that plane travels, the stars rise 1 degree in the
Yes.
direction that it's going.
Yes.
Yeah, and that
Yep.
happens.
It doesn't happen though.
It does happen.
Do you know how much degrees the stars are supposed to shift in 2,000 miles?
So you've got time, and then you've also got the direction the plane is going. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
both of those have to be taken into account.
I know.
So if the plane was going east or west, the stars would rotate left or right,
It's
depending on
true.
which way the plane is going.
That's right. They would.
Yes, this is what you guys don't understand, and you're
What
trying
are
to
you
fool
talking?
people with lies.
Riz, you're so funny. It's literally right here. 60 degrees of rotation is right here.
Where's the missing? rotation or
I never said, Riz, you got to pay attention to the argument. I never said that there's not rotation of the stars happening. I explicitly said that you can see the rotation of the stars. That is what you expect to see. But if
you
we're on the
said we're
globe,
missing
we are
60 degrees.
no, we're not missing 60 degrees. We see that right here. What we're missing is the 28 degrees of upward shift. Okay, so the point of rotation on the ball is going to shift as we dive over it, right? It's going to get higher and higher in the sky, but it doesn't happen. It stays at the horizon.
Okay, we're not. I've told you we're not missing one. I've told you one of the things right in front of your face is Jupiter, and there's a famous star beneath that, right next to
Why
Jupiter.
don't you just use the pointer stars? They're there and they're accurate. They're
No,
drawn for
because
the audience to see.
because the Jupiter and the star below it are right in front of your face, in the center of the frame. And the fact that they don't change position very much, they actually show that the plane was actually showing that the rise was actually happening.
So wait, the fact that they don't change. Let me repeat back what you just said. The fact that they don't change indicates that they're changing.
Okay, so do you know that if you was on Concorde going 800 to 1,000 miles an hour, you could keep up with the sun,
Sure.
and that the sun wouldn't go forward or it wouldn't go back? Do you understand that?
Are you claiming that the planes go 1,000 miles per hour?
No, I'm claiming that the way that the directions it was traveling, it was causing the planets to rise at the same rate and therefore stay in a similar position most of the time.
Again, just to simplify your evidence, right? You are
Uh,
conceptualizing a way in which this makes sense, but just to
no, I'm not.
understand, you're saying that because we do not see this change, that is an indication that there is this upward shift,
No,
even
no.
though we're not seeing it with the
I'm,
two
I'm,
pointer stars that are rotating.
I'm saying there is a change. It's a smaller change than what you would expect it because you're not traveling in one direction only. You're traveling in three different
What's
directions.
what's the change supposed to be?
So what you would see is Jupiter and the star rise and set. But what you see is it's slowly just change its orientation. And that's due to the fact that the way that the plane is traveling, the direction.
Again, you're not being very specific at all. You claim that the plane changes three different directions during the time lapse. When specifically does it change direction? During the beginning, during the middle, during the end, all three?
You should know this information because it's your Flurfatron video.
So you don't know. You're claiming
No,
that it changes a whole bunch of directions. I'm claiming, admittedly, it changes directions to gain its heading when it takes off, and then it maintains its heading for the time lapse in which I'm doing this observation.
okay. So as I said, tomorrow I'm more than happy to demonstrate it for you.
How,
I'll show you
Riz, here's a better
graphics and
question.
pictures.
Here's a better question. Because,
Go
again,
on.
we have the pointer stars here. We know the orientation of the plane. We know we're facing the same direction based on just what we're seeing here. Why even bring up the fact that we're changing directions three times? That doesn't make any sense. We clearly see that we're not for the purposes of the time lapse.
Okay. It's because you don't understand. You like to say you understand scale. You like to understand what you call Euclidean
I asked you
geometry or
specifically,
hyperbolic space.
before you
Yeah,
just
you
go
don't
on,
understand it.
before you just go on with vague unspecificity, I asked you specifically how much change we should see degree wise that you're, because you say we're not missing any degrees of upward shift, and you're saying that I just did the math wrong. Well, that implies that you've done the math and that you know how to do it correctly. So how
Okay.
many degrees of shift should we expect to see if it not 28?
Okay. So you take the distance the plane traveled in that time and divide it by 69. in miles. So
Hmm.
however
Did that.
many miles the plane traveled divided by 69.
28.9.
Yep. So that's how much degrees it would have risen by in that
Yes,
time.
that's what I said earlier.
Yes. But that's what you observe, you buffoon. That's what I'm telling you.
Riz, well, hold on. Which is it? Did I do the math wrong, or is it that we're seeing it and then I'm just missing it?
You're missing it.
Okay. Okay, so my math is correct. You are claiming that we do see from this time lapse here, this shift that we see here, you are claiming that not only does it shift, but it also shifts upwards by
That's
28
correct. Yeah,
degrees.
that's correct. I
Wow.
mean, if you want to play the video, I'll show you exactly where you can observe it.
Can't really play the video while I'm on the live, but
Yeah, and that's the reason why I have to show you the error of your ways tomorrow with pictures and images to make it easy for you to understand.
it's so funny. Pictures and images. So let me ask you this, right? If this is that's funny. There's not even probably there's probably actually about 20 degrees between the starting and ending position with the rotation, right? So it's like now it's you can't have it both ways. When it rotates, the stars are going to go down, but they're also
Okay,
supposed to shift up, but they
all
don't,
right.
right? So they go down and then they shift up, but again,
So
we're not seeing that here at
we'll
all.
test a little simple basic knowledge, degrees and understanding for you on visual space. How many degrees is it from the horizon to say above your fence or the trees that block you from seeing stars in front of you? Say you're standing in your garden and you can't see the stars because trees are in your way. How many degrees are missing?
How many degrees are missing? Like I'd say probably top to bottom, we're probably looking at about 50 to 60 degrees.
No, we're missing only 6 degrees.
You're missing only 6 degrees from what? What angle are you measuring that from?
So if you're standing in your garden and you're trying to look, say, at some stars towards the horizon, you'll either have buildings or skyscrapers or trees in the way. You're only missing 6 degrees to 10 degrees at most. That's to give you an understanding
That's
of.
ridiculous. So when I'm looking at when I'm looking at my backyard and I see trees that go over my head, and I have to look up over like probably over 80 degrees to see the sky, you're telling me that I'm only missing 6 degrees. It's obviously relative to how close this stuff is, right?
Yeah, obviously, I said when you look towards the horizon and you've got trees and buildings in the way, um, I'm giving you an idea of 6 degrees. If you've got a massive tree right next to you of 10 meters long, then yeah, you're going to look about 40 degrees in the sky.
Okay, I was
Right?
basing off my backyard because you said my backyard fence and stuff. So, yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I get what you're saying. If you're looking out at the horizon, sure, you're not missing that many.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is when you're looking at this video, which you're claiming shows 28 degrees of missing curvature,
Right.
you don't understand the reference frame from the horizon and how much degrees it actually rises. And I observed that in the entire video that it does rise.
Reference frame. The reference frame is the plane. Let me ask you this: would it not rise up 1 degree per 69 miles from the plane view?
It
From
does,
the view
that's
of the
what I'm
plane?
trying to tell you. It does do that.
I don't get it. I'm not seeing it here. I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree. But
No,
I'm
I
more
mean,
than willing to have you come on tomorrow and try to show me something.
yeah, please do the live during UK time, 8 up to 9 p.m. in the
I don't know
evening.
what UK time is for Florida.
Okay, what time is it in Florida right now?
Right now, it's 8:04
PM or AM?
p.m.
Okay, so you are just 5 hours behind me. So just add 5 hours to whatever time yours is.
All right, cool.
So I want 8 p.m. So add 5 hours to what you are, yeah? Or 9 p.m. That'll make it 5 your time.
True. Yeah, I'll definitely do one early tomorrow. Maybe you can hop on, have your pictures and presentation prepared, and show me how in this before and after how there is in fact this 28 degrees of upward displacement because I'm definitely not seeing it. But
I'll show you it quite clearly. You'll see it quite clearly. And if I get you to just, because I know once you go away and you see Jupiter and you see how it moves, you will realize that you do observe the 28-degree movement or more.
Well, even if it was Jupiter, I wouldn't agree because Jupiter would admittedly be closer in the paradigm. The stars are what's like so far away that they're supposedly fixed to us. So
Yeah,
we would
and
see
there's a
that
star
shelf
from a
rotate consistently. That's why we would take stars that are moving
and,
consistently instead of one of the wandering stars to try to make this observation.
yeah. There's a star called Alkaid right underneath Jupiter, and that's a bright star from a constellation. And both of them move in tandem, and the separation of how they separate show exactly that there has been this upward shift that proves that we live on a globe.
I don't think there has. I think that's a parallax that you're observing. But in any case, I look forward to hearing it tomorrow, Riz. I appreciate it.
Okay,
I'm going to wrap this up.
I'm just, yeah, no worries. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, no worries. I'll talk to you next time. Shadow Jin, you're going to be our last guest. I appreciate you coming on and being patient. What do you have for us today?
I just want to find out what is the name of this video that you're using in your live.
Yeah, this is from Taboo Conspiracy. This is how a pilot ended the globe. There's a part 1 and a part 2. It actually does it going both ways, north to south and south to north.
What information is on that video? Is there a flight, date, time, all of that kind of stuff, the location?
Yeah, you can find all that information from the information that they provide. It's also a non-affiliated party that they take this from. So it's from a company or an organization or a channel called Beyond Skies, and so you can find that information there. They link it all in the description.
Okay, now 100%. I just want to get all the facts and everything together and and do all the numbers and that stuff, and then compare it to the observation, because I think there's a lot of missing data and that stuff in this in general. Not a problem. That's all I wanted to ask.
Sure. Shadow Jedi, I appreciate you coming on. Nothing wrong with getting the sources clear so everybody can do their own heavy lifting. Don't just take my word for any of this stuff. Definitely go in, do your own research, and see if you can see what it is the heck that I'm talking about. And if not, no hard feelings. We don't have to agree. But in this, I think that this is pretty obvious. This is a basic geometry problem. And again, I don't think that we're seeing 28 or even 43 degrees of upward displacement that would indicate the curvature. But this is just one test of many. I do appreciate everybody coming on, sharing their piece. I do think at this point we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Shadow Jin, any final thoughts for the audience?
100%. Everybody have a good night or good morning. Enjoy, and we'll talk later.
Awesome. Peace out, Shadow. All right, guys, I appreciate you. We're going to go ahead and All right, guys, let's go ahead and get things kicked off for the next portion of the show. Appreciate everybody tuning in for that little tidbit. Definitely was a lot of fun. Let me go ahead and get my transition over here. Boom. Awesome. See, we got a lot of comments, a lot of people with a lot of opinions. I love it. We'll get into that in just a moment. I do have to do one thing before we do get started. So, no worries. We are going to enjoy the music stylings of conspiracy music guru. That's right, the one and only CMG. Let me type that stuff in. Boom. What do we want to listen to this time? And after the song, we will get things going with the open panel, with the link. Drop the Zoom link for you guys, and look forward to conversating. Okay, let's see it. Looking at the chat, so let's see if you guys have any preference of what conspiracy music guru song you'd like to hear. It's a lot of really good ones. I think that we are going to do In This Time. We got one vote for In This Time. Okay, let's get it. It doesn't show up on the first page, so I got to type it in. No worries. All right, perfect. All right, guys, we'll see you on the other side here in just a bit. After this 5 seconds of commercial. Ugh. At least we can watch it too. That'll be good. All right, guys. See you in just a bit.
More than hate and jealousy, yeah. In this time, we need education, more than bullets and bombs. In this time, we need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. In this time, we have to wake up and change the world. As a result of 2,000 years of hypocrisy, ego-driven leaders in pursuit of property, power and wealth and fame. Oppressing and murdering, killing all in God's name. Iniquity spread across the nation. Humanity is into separation. In the midst of a darkest hour, we rise to reclaim our power. In this time, we need love and unity, more than hate and jealousy. Yeah. In this time, we need education, more than bullets and bombs. We say we now give up. Now give up. Now give up. Oh no, we now. Using dirty politicians, brainwashed education, war on religion, racial division, food with no nutrition. Hey, this is the Babylon system. Their intention to use all their wicked invention, all the propaganda promoting consumerism. It's all a distraction, only misdirection to break eye connection. But if you want come follow me, make you know say what I want. This is gonna get you ready for the Armageddon. I'm in for the revolution. Power by love and compassion. Cause if we go at them with weapons, then they have more guns. Go at them with money, then they have more funds. With unification, then time soon done. We owe it to our daughters and sons in a decent time. More than hate and jealousy, yeah. In this time, we need education, more than bullets and bombs. In this time, we need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. In this time, we have to wake up and change the world. In this time, we need love and unity, more than hate and jealousy, yeah. In this time, we need education, more than bullets and bombs. In this time, we need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. In this time, we have to wake up and change the world.
That's right. We got to wake up and change the world. That is right. Let me close out some of these tabs. Appreciate you guys tuning in for the True Earth Debate open panel. Let's go ahead. Why the heck does that say new meeting? That should not be that way. Must have kicked me out. Oh, well, no worries. We'll get things rocking and rolling in just one moment. All right. Appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and get this link copied. And then we look forward to having the conversation. Let's go ahead and, oh my goodness. Computer wants to be slow. Apologies. There's the YouTube. Let's get the Rockfin. Leland Witt with the $10 donation. Thank you very much, my friend. Your patience is crazy, man. Better than me. Your understanding of the subject, top tier. Thank you. No, thank you, my friend. Thank you. It is at times very challenging, but at times very fulfilling. So I do appreciate the support. Oh, also another one. Wow, Cogdis in full effect. Are you, Brenda? Full waste of time. I hear you. All right, let's go ahead and get into the Zoom. We got Ruhif in the waiting room. Welcome. We got Travis. Welcome.
Yo,
All right.
Travis, how's it going?
Oh, goody. Oh, my God. I joined for the first time and Ruhif's here.
Yeah,
Welcome.
apologies. I'm only here for like probably 6 minutes, so that's some consolation, right?
That's a tough one. 6 minutes to debunk this, what most of us on our side are considering a nail in the coffin.
Okay, it's not. I'm puzzled why my email did not explain it. What about my email didn't make sense?
I just don't.
Do you want to read it out?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Basically,
you're
you're just explaining it away, saying that we didn't calculate enough into the Western rotation, right? The way that the stars rotate.
Okay, so my quick explanation. If you were stationary in the Northern Hemisphere, looking directly south, you would see clockwise circles, okay? So the stars on the left of south, or the east of south, will be rising. The stars on the west will be setting, right? So they're rotating clockwise. They set to the west of south, all right?
Are you mirrored?
If you're looking...
You do it the other way.
I'm probably backwards on screen. Yeah, I'm doing clockwise for me. That's my clockwise. That would be your clockwise.
Yeah, we know.
Looking at my screen. Anyway,
okay.
Clockwise, you know which way the clock goes. Yeah, so you're stationary in the Northern Hemisphere. You see partial star trails, and they set on the west. They rise in the east, set in the west. If you're looking southwest, which is the direction of that flight, but you're still stationary, so you're not flying yet, still stationary, you will see the stars go down, right? You'll see the stars set. If you are flying, right, you're going towards the southwest. If you did that instantaneously, the stars would rise, right? Obviously. So what you've got is if you're stationary, the stars are setting, but you're flying, so they are rising because you're going over the curve. Those two things are compensating for each other. That's why the stars don't go much up.
You're appealing to what you would, how would we rephrase this? This is like tidal locking. We know the moon is rotating, but the earth is rotating and they're both rotating, so it looks like they're both stationary. You just, man, come on.
Do you disagree with the two premises there? If we're stationary...
Here's what I was going to say to you originally was this. We don't want to hear you explain the way you think it works. This has to be demonstrated, and we've seen it at least on the video. It's not hard to follow conceptually. I understand this discussion conceptually. So, Ruhif, it doesn't matter how well you can explain it. You have to show it in a model that you can just see that.
Sure,
I'll do you one better.
I've partially modeled it in Stellarium, but told Tribune about my Linux Debian server issues, so I've got to get that sorted anyway.
So here's
you understand the stars will be setting, but compensated by you going over the curve. That's why they don't move.
Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm pretty sure I have an debunk of what you just said, because on its face it doesn't make sense. Here's the issue. So you're saying that it's compensated. However, we do see the pointer stars set, right? They rotate and they set, and the time lapse is only for 4 hours, right? How much displacement is supposed to happen for the rotation over 4 hours? Well, obviously it's 60 degrees, right? 15 degrees per hour.
You might be sort of misinterpreting what 15 degrees per hour means.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Here we go.
The GP of the star moves 15 degrees of longitude per hour. If you were to travel instantaneously 2,000 miles, then yeah, it would rise, whatever it is, 30 degrees.
Hold on a second. So are you saying that the stars in the sky do not move at a rate of 15 degrees per hour?
Well, they do, but what does that mean? The
Right.
GP of the star moves 15 degrees of longitude per hour. Yes.
So I wish I had the
It is.
before
Hold
and
on a second. I
after.
gotta get a dog inside. Can you hear my dog barking? 1 second.
Sure, go for it. While you're doing that, Travis, if you want to say something. Also, Melissa, you've been patient. Welcome to the show. First time I believe you've been on, so I appreciate you coming on. And while you guys are talking, I'm also going to pull up this photo that I have in Canva, so people in the audience bear with me.
So just real quick, Skylar, I would challenge Ruhif to bring up any citation of something that he can, because otherwise it's just an ad hoc. He's just like figuring out, okay, how could I explain this in my head? And so he's just saying, oh, well, the Earth is rotating, the stars are rotating, this plane is only moving this fast, and so it just looks like they're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? He's just spitting out of his head an answer to this conundrum. But as you said, his answer, just like tidal locking, doesn't make sense. Ruhif, your explanation is ad hoc, and it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, premise one, you're looking southwest, and you're stationary, you're not moving. Do the stars set downwards, looking southwest?
No.
No, really?
I don't say they set. They are going across the sky into the west. They don't set. They're going away. Your cockeyed little cow looking at a passing train of your head, like, you don't understand what I'm saying?
Oh, hang on 1 second. Hold on.
Audience is so upset having to watch me download this, I'm sure. I apologize, guys. I'll be as quick as I possibly can. At least they can hear this fire conversation in the background, right? Perfect.
What are you getting ready?
I'm downloading the before and after of the stars so that there's no way you can deny what we're seeing.
Well, even Riz is appealing to Jupiter, and you pointed it out. That's a planet. It's not a constellation. We're not talking about the planets.
Yeah,
it's completely different.
Yeah, why would we compare it to the planet that doesn't act?
It's misdirection.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't even know which one's Jupiter. Which one's Jupiter? You're like, it's a red herring, which is a great call out. You know.
I appreciate that. Welcome back, Ruhif. Or not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you disagree that you're in the northern hemisphere. Let's say you're at the equator. So the celestial poles on your horizon, looking south. You disagree that stars set to the west of that line.
For the sake of argument, I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's premise one of the explanation, right? You've got downward motion when you're looking southwest. You agree with that?
Apparent. It's apparent.
Yep. Okay, cool. Down that way. Whoops. There we go. And then you're flying towards it, so it's raising on a globe.
Okay, hold on. Again, what you're doing right now, Ruhif, is just explaining a concept.
Yes. I'm explaining the real world observation, yes, of why it works on a globe.
No, you're going to have to demonstrate that your claim happens in reality. I don't accept the fact
Isn't the video reality? What? Isn't the video the reality? And my explanation is how our model explains it? What?
Okay, hold on. Again, okay. I understand the contrast that you're making right now, but this is the way I would summarize what Skylar is showing, right? The point of this video is that not only should there be the 60 degrees of rotation, there is that, but that's not the issue, so don't talk about it. The issue is, if we were to look at the starting point of that top frame where the two circled stars are, or where the clusters or whatever those are, right? If we were going to start heading toward those, and we kept going for however far the flight was, 4 hours, they would go up, not just across.
If you did it instantaneously, yes, but between now and that time, they are rotating
that's ad
down.
hoc. No.
It's not. You agree with both premises.
No.
You
Hold
agree
on.
with both premises.
All right, hold on. This is just like saying, well, in a vacuum, We don't live. Well, if we took out all of the Earth's atmosphere, then this would. We don't live in that world. We don't live in an instantaneous world where you can't show us an instantaneous switcherooski. You can only say that that's your explanation. And everybody goes, oh, well, that's a good explanation. I guess Ruhif just debunked them. No, you didn't.
If we are looking at the stars rotate and we watch them rotate over 4 hours, we will see them rotate 60 degrees. Now, obviously, you guys can see the picture here. You see the 2 pointer stars. Ruhif, I'll ask you, how much do you think these stars have rotated?
I don't know, maybe 40, something like that. I don't know.
You think?
Ruhif, can I ask you?
You think it's?
I'm sorry, Scarlett.
Okay, I think it's way. There's no way that you could come to the conclusion that it's only like 40 degrees.
You think it's more or less?
I think you got 60 degrees here. Easy.
I would have said 60 because you can put 15 on the left part of it and 15 on the right part of it. That's 30, 60, and 30, 90.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
if we
but
agree,
again, that's
this is
splitting hairs. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, this is the really important part. If we can agree that the proper amount of rotation is displayed here, then there was no compensation, right, for the rotation as we dip over the globe, as you claim, right? It's obviously perfectly displayed here, all accounted for.
Right?
All of the
isn't your issue that it's not going up?
Right.
We all agree it's going to rotate.
The whole frame of rotation is not going up. Exactly. That is the issue, and that's what we're seeing here.
Okay, so number one, if we're stationary, stars in the rotation, stars will set in the west. They go down, right? If we're stationary. You agree. You agree with it, right?
So they're only we're not. Hold on, we're going away from that claim completely because we're dealing with the pointer stars, which are not near the horizon. Over 4 hours, we're not expecting to see as much displacement to be able to bring something from the top all the way down to the horizon, or even from one end of the horizon to the other. So this is pointless, right? We see all of the rotation right here. There is no need to...
We agree they rotate. That's not the issue. The issue is whether it should rise up or
which it obviously should.
That's the point. So you agree that if we're stationary, they should go down, right? We'll see it rotate and go down and set, right? If we're stationary.
Obviously.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, right. If we're moving towards them over a globe, then it should rise, right?
Right.
Those two are compensating for each other. That's why they don't go up or down.
You can't demonstrate your claim.
Again, I can actually.
If that's true,
today, but I've modeled it
physically.
in Stellarium.
No, physically. Show us physically.
I was just going to say,
this
if that's
is
true,
the physical demonstration.
If that's true,
do you want reality or modeling, Travis? Which one do you want? Choose one of those: reality or modeling. The video is reality. I can model it for you if you like.
This is so simple.
I want you to model it physically. Model it.
Don't even need it.
Not in a program.
We don't even need to model it yet because on its face we're still not there. On its face, it's still not there, and I'll explain why. You're saying.
Sorry, you can't.
Hold on. You're saying.
Travis saying I can't. I'm not allowed to model this in Stellarium. I have to get little fucking plasticine balls out. Or what?
Oh my god.
Yeah. In my challenge back to you, yes, that's what I would require. We don't live in a program.
I'm not going to model it physically for you, Travis.
I know, because you can't. You can't.
I don't want to.
So here's again.
I will model it in Stellarium.
I'm
not going to get a fucking physical model. Sorry.
This is a simple geometry problem. If you're claiming that our movement over the globe is compensating for some of this rotation, some of this setting, then we would not see the full 60-degree rotation that we are seeing. Some of that would be compensated for, but it wasn't. We're just seeing it right here. And the whole frame of this, listen, this is the important thing.
All right, hang on.
The whole frame of this
there's my appointment. I got to go.
Shifting up.
See you, bye.
See you, Ruhif. Thanks for trying.
It's 1:28. So yeah.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, I would have liked to have asked him. I think when he brought up the instantaneous thing, right? So let's put it this way. The star clusters, the Milky Way that we're looking at right now, is a very, very distant, massive oak in the distance. Like I can see that same area of space in the distance. If I walk toward that oak tree, it's going to rise and continue to rise up in front of me until I'm standing right underneath it, right? So you're going to see it rise and rise and rise. You understand what I'm saying by that?
Right.
Okay. Ruhif said, well, yeah, but if you instantaneously get there, right?
We didn't,
this
though.
this is misdirection because you're going to still have the same problem or the same result. Even if I instantaneously blink my eyes and instead of traveling 4 hours toward that object, I'm just at the object immediately. Guess what's going to happen? I'm going to have to look up because the target has risen in the field of view. Still, you still have the same effect. He didn't solve any problem with his misdirection.
No, it was constant. It was constant red herrings. And then when I specifically pointed out, it's like, no, we literally have the entire frame right here. You can see the 60 degrees of rotation right here, which means that your angle to it didn't change. It's so obvious it hurts, and it's disappointing. I thought that the Globers could do a little bit better. I think that it's funny though, because here's one thing I was going to bring up is the video from Bob, the science guy that was addressing this. Have you guys had a chance to see that yet?
I cannot listen to Bob. Can't do it.
He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. Basically, he puts in a program. He puts it in Stellarium, just like Ruhif's talking about doing. And Ruhif's claiming that they can put the observer height in. But, I mean, if that's true, you don't see Bob do that in his video, right? He's just taking the ground observation from one of the areas and then comparing it to the sky observation from the plane early on in the time lapse. And I'm just like, dude, you're not addressing the actual issue of you're not seeing the displacement over the course of the time lapse, and the frame of rotation doesn't actually change. And actually, instead of addressing the taboo conspiracy, the second video, he just hand waves it away and says, "Oh, you can see the North Pole star, and it's just rising up clearly." So like, I've watched that video. It's not. So you're just gonna not show it because you debunk yourself. That's hilarious.
He has major cognitive dissonance, that Ruhif guy.
I've argued with Ruhif for 4 years, and nothing's changed. But I'm sure he could probably say the same for me.
Yeah, they always they think that we just deny the obvious evidence, right? We can take two sticks in the ground, we can measure their shadows, and then we can presuppose an entire universe, baby.
Yeah, we can measure everything with sticks and shadows.
I was absolutely, I was dead. I was dead by that. But you guys want to? You said you don't want to listen to the Bob the Science Guy. I was going to put a poll to the audience. Audience, put a 1.
It's not my show. I mean, I was just saying I don't like listening.
A lot of people
Bob.
don't. I personally don't. But for the sake of like the argument, I'll leave it up to the audience. Though we'll do this is democracy. It's sometimes right. Sometimes it's democracy. Sometimes it's a dictatorship. And ultimately, it's like up to me which one it is at the time. So. This time it's a democracy, and we're going to do ones for play the Bob the Science Guy video, at least in part. And then we have 2 if you thought my explanation was good enough. Whatever.
Everybody vote 2.
Travis votes 2. Jeff, what about you, man? What do you think?
1.
Nice, dude. We got split panel. That's what we like to see. Some conflict. Some dynamic.
Yeah, no hand
much
holding.
Much like don't like Bob.
Oh my goodness! All right, let me get this thing ready just in case.
Greetings from northern Michigan. You know, it's probably how he opens.
Oh God, it makes me feel because like I lived in Michigan for a little while, and so but you know, yeah, when you see how they vote, then it's like, man, can't be too surprised, right? Just my opinion. It's just my opinion, right? Don't get offended, YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and get this. Where the heck? There we go. All right, I'm gonna go grab this video just in case. Let's go check the chat first. What do we got? What do we got? Travis, what do you got coming up, man? Anything interesting? Anything cool? You do any globe killing observations lately?
I've just been putting out a couple of videos myself. I don't know if you've seen or have heard my position, but I am probably the only flat Earth proponent that does not support the idea that the Bible teaches that the Earth is flat. So I've made 3 recent videos on that because I just keep hearing it, and I want to make sure that everybody at least has the option to understand that there's a contrary view out there, as opposed to most Bible-believing flat earthers who just want to say, "Oh, the Bible teaches it's flat Earth. The Bible teaches it's a flat Earth." So I've been working on that.
So I've heard a lot of the evidences like that it is a for flat Earth cosmology, and I've also heard some evidences that it's against. What's like your biggest? Because I've heard like, what do you make of the fact that the Bible says that the Earth makes shape like clay pressed under a seal? How is it not a flat Earth book with things like that in it?
Well, first of all, that's just one verse that says something with with those specific descriptions. So already it's that verse that you just referred to is not literal. The Earth literally isn't something that has been pressed from a seal, right? So that's simply symbolic language. So then we have to actually understand what it's trying to say, because it's not saying it literally. So first of all, that passage that you're referring to isn't literal. It's already symbolic. So if it is symbolic, then it's not teaching what you think it's teaching literally. It's teaching something else symbolically. So then what is that? But my first and primary argument is that we're dealing with translation. So in my opinion, and I've made this point on my videos, the word earth should never appear in the Bible. So let me ask you two guys, and James, whoever, if he's here, like in your mind, unless you want to answer, what's the difference between land and earth? Because those 2 words, land and earth, are the 2 options to translate the Hebrew word eretz.
That's very...
Okay, so the Hebrew word is eretz. Sometimes they translate it earth, sometimes they translate it land. So my question for the panel is, what's the difference between those 2 nouns, earth and land?
So from my understanding, land was a more local area, and earth would have been like the whole kit and caboodle. But
anybody else?
Like, you know how people say that mushrooms taste earthy? Earth. That's the word earth, where that the Hebrew word actually comes from, not what you're thinking. And land is the same thing. Land is the dirt, essentially. The dirt under our feet, the earth under our feet. That's essentially what it is.
Do you have a reference to point me to? Like, so how would you translate eretz then? Like, in the beginning, God created,
Earth.
Okay, but then when you were using that to explain what you think, you brought out mushrooms tasting earthy. So I don't understand how earth means an earthy, palatable flavor.
That seems circular to me.
I don't think you understand where I'm getting at.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, that's what I was. No, but see, that's
earthy. Earth and earthy are essentially, they're stemmed from the same thing. Earth means the dirt. So mushrooms essentially taste like dirt. Okay, that's what the earthy taste means.
Okay, so my question is, do you know that the Bible has a word for dirt?
I'm okay. Yeah, I have to understand the Hebrew language. There's a lot of words that you cannot explain with one word. Okay.
Oh, I didn't ask for that explanation. I said, yes. Do you know that the Bible has a word for dirt?
Off the top of my head, no, I don't.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so I bring up this point in the videos that I made because the Bible does have two specific words. One means land, which is eretz. Eretz means land. The one that refers to dirt or ground is called Adamah. So there's a word for dirt, and it's not eretz. So then I wouldn't translate eretz as dirt because that's not its reference.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. You're trying to dance around it like Glober's doing. Unfortunately, like, okay, you know,
No,
like
call me out. Wait, hold on, man. What am I dancing around?
Okay, well, okay. So I'm trying to explain that earth, the word earth means the ground that we stand on, the land that we stand.
No, it doesn't. No,
okay.
It doesn't.
Then what does it mean then?
Okay, I just tried to give you the two ideas. The idea that you're talking about, the surface that we stand on, that's going to be Adamah, the ground. But when we're talking about land, it's what Skylar referred to earlier. The Bible's concept of land is local and proximate. As far as the eye can see, that's the land. That's what this is all of our property as far as the eye can see, or whatever. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's
you also have to remember that word eretz means more than just the earth. It means more than that. Like, just like the word shalom, everyone thinks it just means peace. It doesn't just mean that.
Okay,
it
but
means,
see what
there's so many translations to what that word means, and you can't literally translate right over to English because the Hebrew words are so packed in one word that you can't translate it directly. It's so
Who told you that? Who told you that?
Told me that?
Yeah.
A Hebrew scholar. That's
right.
who told me that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, you're appealing to someone who's describing to you what they learned about language in their education. So I had the same thing. I went to seminary. I have a degree in biblical studies. So I've had Hebrew scholars tell me certain things. I've done my own research. I have found that they are simply regurgitating the education that they got. Okay. And so I have found that that's not necessarily the case, what you just described, but I do address it in my video. So if you want to watch my video and see where I'm coming from on it.
You're trying to say that when you look at certain Hebrew words, they don't just mean the one word that they say. Is that what you're saying? So does shalom just mean peace?
Hold on. This is going to get into the same. Okay, first of all, your question is a red herring because it doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Because when you read the Hebrew, right, you only see the word eretz, 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 eretz. That's all you see. It's the context that's going to show you what that eretz is in relation to. And that's how you understand what it is. Not the fact that some scholar tells you that, oh, the Greek language is just so dense that it can have all of these different meanings. No, it can't. That's
it's not
science.
Greek, it's, but sure.
Okay. Both, it's said in both Hebrew and Greek. I've heard both Greek and Hebrew scholars talk about how the Greek and the Hebrew language is so dense that it has just this bouquet of meanings. And if you can catch one here or catch one here, then, you're just getting a full, it's just not true. I'm here. Okay. This is what I'm trying to say.
All right. It's not going to get anywhere any further. So,
well,
we can go on to something else now. That's cool.
Okay.
I was gonna ask Travis, what's his motivation for taking the stationary plane or whatever we want to call it out of the Bible? What's your motivation?
I'm not trying to take it out of the Bible. I'm trying to say that the Bible doesn't address this discussion at all. The Bible is not a science book. It's not supposed to be used as a science book.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that the moon is self-illuminating?
I believe that concept makes sense to me.
Yeah, because if you actually look at Genesis 1:14-18, and you see the lunar cycle, and you realize that after the first quarter you go to the waning gibbous, and then you go to the waxing gibbous after the full moon. Before the full moon, that moon is looking up at about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and the sun is already set at about 5:30. You go the other way, the moon is looking up about 10:30, and the sun is just coming up.
I'm lost already.
Okay,
I'm lost already. Wait, hold on. Is your point that the moon, the terminator line on the moon doesn't always match up the apparent angle that the sun should be hitting it on? Is that what your point is?
The sun direct line of sight does not light the moon, exactly.
Okay, I agree with you. What's that got to do with my point?
Is the moon self-illuminating?
This is a red herring. It has nothing to do with the
No, it has everything to do with it, because the Bible is quite explicit that we live on some sort of stationary plane. How can you throw away and hand wave away foundations, pillars, four corners, ends of the earth, and footstools? Jesus even says in Matthew 5:35 that the earth is God's footstool. Repeats that in Isaiah 66:1. Foundations are used 80 times in the Bible. Foundations are not curved. Pillars are not curved. There are no ends of the earth on a ball. There is no.
Hold on, James. Why are you correct?
First of all, call me Jim. And second of all, I look at what you're saying. The Bible is everything, but saying that it's not that. How do you interpret Isaiah 40:22?
There's a misunderstanding.
How do you interpret Isaiah 40:22?
This is a complete waste of time, Jim.
How do you explain Isaiah 40? You made a claim that the Bible, the Bible is not some sort of a flat earth or stationary top book. Is that what you said?
This is going to eliminate your question to me.
How do you interpret Isaiah 40:22?
What was my explanation earlier about why I say the Bible is not a flat earth book?
How is it not a flat earth book?
So you weren't here when I explained my position earlier?
How is it not a flat earth book?
I'll tell you real quick. The Bible's use of the word land is always proximate.
You have one word that takes out.
I wasn't finished with my explanation.
I'm gonna understand.
You asked me to explain myself, and then you interrupted me.
I'm going to understand you on this. You have one word that takes away 66 chapters of God's owner's manual to the world that claims the Bible doesn't do one thing. You totally. Are
you upset that I'm trying to take your ball away from you?
I am explaining it to you.
You're acting like a baller right now. You're crying like a baller.
I don't get upset with people that don't understand things.
Yeah, but you interrupted me. I wasn't even finished with my explanation.
All yours, Travis.
So, my point was that the word Eretz does not connote Earth. It does not connote all of the 7 continents. It does not connote this massive structure of all of these land masses. The Bible has no concept for those outer areas. The Bible's concern is with proximity. The land of Canaan is where the 12 tribes were set up. If they are ever talking about any other place, it's always the land of Babylon, the land of Cush, the land of Ethiopia. It always has designations, but those are all within the sphere of influence that are around Israel. My point then after that is the word Eretz only means land. It never, ever means earth the way we use that term earth.
I have a question for Jim.
You have Genesis 1:6-10. You have the earth or land coming out of the water. Genesis 1:6-10. I am fine with that. If you want to look at God's Bible, whether it's Hebrew in the Old Testament and Greek in the New Testament, if you want to look at the King James Version, which is about 80% of what Tinsdale did in 1534 when he translated for the people in the UK, if you want to do that and you want to say that Genesis 1:14-18 does not describe the most perfect calendar ever made by God, and also the most perfect clock.
This is a complete non sequitur, Jim.
No, it isn't, Bob.
It's a complete non sequitur.
Travis, you are trying to destroy the Bible.
No, you're getting your security blanket pulled on and you don't like it.
No.
If I may,
you don't like it. You are trying to destroy biblical cosmology because the Bible is explicitly what I'm just going to ask you again. What do you do with Isaiah 40:22?
Non sequitur.
See, Travis, this is your problem. You've taken.
I don't have a problem.
You
James.
have a huge problem because you're taking God's owner's manual to the world that says that we explicitly have cosmology.
The Bible is not God's owner manual to the world.
See, what is the Bible to you?
It's an historic work of literature. It's a masterful piece of art.
Is it God's word to the world?
No.
Does the Bible contain, or does the Bible is the word of God? Which is it?
The Bible contains descriptions
Okay.
of. Hold on. Can I finish my sentence? Can
Sure.
You ask me a question?
I have the perfect
Just
answer.
wait your turn.
And then Trouble, you can take the discussion back.
What was your question now?
So you're saying that the Bible contains the word of God and not the Bible is the word of God. Is that what you're saying, Travis?
No. So the problem is you have thoughts in your head about what you think I'm saying.
You do.
You've done this. Wait, hold on. Wait.
You are self-projecting something onto me that doesn't exist.
That's not true because I've never made the accusations against you that you're making against me tonight.
Hey, okay? The Bible is the word of God, and we live on a stationary plane that's immovable. And you don't want to take Genesis 14-18. You don't want to understand Genesis 1:6-10, and you don't want to listen to foundations, four corners, pillars, ends of the earth, and footstools. You don't want to hear that. You want to take one word, and now you're saying that the Bible contains the word of God. You are the perfect.
I didn't say anything.
Is it the
about
word of God
the
or
Bible containing or not, man?
Is it?
Listen, this is not fun. I'm not having fun right now, Jim. Are you having fun?
I'm having a great time exposing you.
Might be 1 out of 3. You might be 1 out of 3 on the panel.
I'm having a great time exposing you, Bob.
Travis.
Travis.
I need you to take a chill.
So is the Bible the word of God or contains the word of God? Which
he already said he thought it was art.
The Bible is a human description of one culture's experience in the past.
So does the Bible contain the word of God somewhere?
The Bible does say, like, for instance, Isaiah says, the word of the Lord came to me, and then it says what the word of the Lord said. So the Bible does apparently record what people think God said or did.
Okay, so you're taking purely the ecumenical viewpoint of the Bible. I take the literal.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what the ecumenical view of the Bible means.
Hey, that's cool, Travis. Maybe someday we'll talk about it more in depth. Troubling, it's all yours.
Okay. My goodness. I didn't want to just mute you, Jim, because a lot of people like your rants, but you're starting to go on for a bit there. And I just had some simple narrow it down. And some people were like, can we move on the topic? But the thing is this is where the debate is. There's no Globers right now. So this is the closest thing we have to a debate. So we went the true faith route, even though it is actually the true earth debate, because we are talking about what this religion says about the earth shape, right? And the thing is, just to be clear for the audience, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Travis, I believe that you're not saying that the Earth, based on the Bible, is a globe, right? You're saying that the Bible.
Exactly.
You're saying that the Bible doesn't make claims about the cosmology. But my question is this: if that is true, that the Bible doesn't make claims about cosmology, is your claim then that all of the Bible, all of Christians and all the people who read the Bible's interpretation of the cosmology that they have built? So I know you know what I'm talking about with the flat Earth, the firmament, Sheol underneath, all those. As Jim was trying to point out specific verses, I just don't have them right off the top of my head. It does specifically say things like, in Genesis, right? That's the creation story of the earth, right? Not the land. Or am I missing something there?
Well, your question now is gonna trigger a few more people. So if you want me to answer that question, I'll answer it.
That's why I asked.
Okay, so Genesis 1 is not literal. It's not talking about 7 days of creation of the universe. That's not what Genesis 1 is talking about.
What's it talking about?
Genesis 1 is describing to Israel her role under God's plan for her while she goes through Torah, right? The instruction, Torah is instruction. Israel was placed under a tutor for a certain amount of time. Paul talks about this in the book of Galatians, and he says that time is now coming to an end. I used to talk like a child, but now I talk like a man. So the reference of heaven and earth, or the reference of heaven and land, is a symbolic reference for Israel. Genesis 1 is talking about the creation of Israel.
No, it isn't. Travis, give me a break.
That doesn't make.
I mean, Travis, Genesis 1, the first 19 verses starts at the ground, the sea level, ends at the sky, which is 14 to 19. And then it talks about, God saying it was good after 5 days. God saw that it was very good after 6. And then he literally debunks evolution when he says after its kind 7 times in the last part of the 31 verses of Genesis 1. So God actually debunks virology, debunks the cosmology that we've been brought up with, and debunks evolution in the first 31 verses of the first chapter of the first book.
Surely
now,
it's not
Travis,
talking...
if you can't see that,
oh my
you have Jim. Some sort of a do you consider yourself
Jim. You said I could have the conversation back.
Do you consider yourself a biblical Christian?
He said no, he considers it art. I almost guarantee you don't even need to ask that question based on what he said. I'm just
I find that he takes the first 31 verses and turns it to an opinion that he...
I gotta mute you, Jim, for a second. I'm trying to make a point, and you just went right into it. You know I love you, man, but you're emotional right now, and you want to make a point as well. But you told me I could have it back, so I don't feel bad about muting you. This is the thing. Surely, when in the Bible, in the Genesis creation story, where it's talking about the creation of the lights and the separation of the night and the day, and then it's talking about the creation of all humans and the creation of all animals. Obviously, the Genesis creation story is not the creation of Israel. In fact, the creation of Israel would have been when Israel was actually named, which was when Jacob injured himself and then wrestled through this wrestling match, right? That would have been the creation of Israel. And when God recognized Jacob as the chosen son and then his seed from then on out. So there's nothing that I can look at, or I won't say that. Instead, I'll ask, Travis, what are you basing it off of that Genesis is just about Israel and not the creation of the whole earth? Is it just an interpretation based on other parts of the Bible and then trying to relate it to it, kind of like what people do with some of the bad translations of the New Testament? Or is there something more concrete that I can look at?
The answer is twofold answer. The more concrete answer would take you into a 20-year study, I'm sure, because this didn't happen to me overnight. This is over 20 years of my own personal research. So the easy answer is what you said before, and that is it's simply using the Bible to help interpret the Bible. So my point is that I can show you plenty of other places where heaven and land, or common vernacular, the heavens and the earth, is a reference to Israel. I can show you that over and over and over again. So then for me, it just makes sense that that's going to be the same thing throughout the entire story. Because, hold on just real quick, because Revelation talks about the passing away of the former or the first heaven and earth. The first heaven and earth pass away. The second heaven and earth come and replace it. Okay? That happened in the first century because heaven and earth isn't physical. It wasn't about the sun and the moon and the stars and the earth. It was about Israel's transition from the old covenant to the new covenant. And that was the symbolic language that the Old Testament used.
I think that we are definitely going to have to reconvene for a true fate debate here within the next week or so, because I definitely want to dive more into this conversation with you, Travis. Jim, you're more than welcome to join as well, because I know that you're studied on this subject as well. I have my own interpretations of what I've read of the Bible, and although I consider it incomplete because there are apocryphal books that I have yet to read, so I have a hard time developing the full understanding, I suppose you could say, but I have developed a good bit, and I have a different opinion on what the New Testament is actually saying. I don't even go with the whole like interpretation of, oh, it's just talking about the body and stuff like that. I think that that's like esoteric stuff that came later. I take a very like literalist. This was written by basically the generals of a certain people of a certain culture to keep people in line to a certain degree, and then certain other things happen with it. I don't want to get too much into it right now because it's actually my time. We're about to call it a show. I'll go ahead and go around the panel though and let everybody take it for a few more minutes and say their final piece.
Troubling. If we could reconvene sometime with Travis, you and I, that would be awesome. If we could do it off of YouTube, so we could actually have a discussion about some things, and just do it on Zoom where we can basically say whatever we want to say and not worry about you getting a strike on YouTube, that would be great. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll hold my final comments till we reconvene. Travis, you have a nice evening, and you too, Troubling.
Jim, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being cordial.
Hey,
yeah, thanks, Jim. I'm
ready to rock and roll, my friends. I'm ready to rock and roll.
I've got 3 recent videos that I've put up where I talk about this concept. So there's at least 3 videos that you can check out.
Hey, whenever we do it, bring it. Bring your A game, my friend.
Jim likes to
Got it.
Jim likes to debate, so it's totally cool. I look forward to the conversation. Hopefully I learned something more about it. Every time I look at the old scriptures and old religions, I end up learning a little bit more about them. So definitely no end to the depth of that well. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. Much love to the audience and everybody who has joined us. Jim, Travis, thank you guys very much. We'll talk on Telegram or something, figure out what schedule works best, and we will do a true fate discussion, debate, whatever the heck we want to call it. We already did the final words. I'm getting redundant at this point. Let's go ahead and play an outro and get the heck on out of here, guys.
Thanks, Skyler.
Thank you, guys. Peace.
Thank you. Thanks. Take care, everyone.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get this going. Got a little heated there, but that is what we are here for. The true Earth debate and what people consider the true Earth to be. What different cultures? Sure, we can definitely add that. Add that in. Starting to get the hiccups from the tea. Okay, let's go ahead and get things wrapped up. I appreciate you guys tuning in instead of tuning out. Always a pleasure to hang out with you guys. We got quite a few people over in Rockfin. 22 watching. Absolutely legendary. We got Robotic Double, Donald Hill, Salted Cedar, 3, Big Buddy Bob. We got, who else? Lots of back and forth. We also have John Osborne, Cody B, Bob, and Professor Dave are upstanding gentlemen, never nasty or condescending. That is must be opposite day. Okay. Awesome, guys. A lot of chit chat. We appreciate all the love and the donations there. If I missed any, I apologize. Let's go over to the rock or over to the YouTube. Lots of people over there. Nice. Appreciate you guys smashing the like, sharing the show. Freya, we will be bringing the True Fate debates. Don't you worry. We have taken a little bit of a break with them just because it's a topic that can get old really fast, but we will get back on it. Okay, Stego Bro, Nominal, Kryptonian, Sam Pedro, Mr. Jones, Danny D, Effed Up World, Howard Moore, Resident Globers. We shout out the Globers as well. We don't care. Mr. Jones, Bill Wheel, Exposing Matrix. TT, the Bible is all preparation for the spill of the water bearer's pitcher. Talking about the age of Aquarius. Nice. More esoteric knowledge to dive into. Awesome. We got Nominal. We got live music. Shifty Eyes Shady. What is up, my friend? Thrash List Smith. We got Rethink Inc. Inner C. We got Hide and Seek Ethereal. We got Rethink Inc. Mr. Jones. JD on YouTube. Trying to go through these pretty quick, but there's so many. Let's see here. Okay, awesome, dude. Truth Wins 100. Message from Question the Answers. Thank you, my friend, for being a member for 1 month. Your patronage is appreciated. And plus, I think I got some of the best emojis, right? The mind blown. Sick. All right. Who else we got? Flag One, Justin Johnson, Jeremy Bird, Watchman, Yeshua Jesus. This guy is twisting scripture. I think I agree with you. But no hate, obviously. I like to have the conversation, so we will definitely bring him back in. And you got to admire somebody who in this particular community was so quick and so bold to just lay his position out there, even though it is completely in the contradictory. And he was prepared to be ostracized from the group that has welcomed him after he's already been ostracized for being a true earther. So I think that we should stay open-armed about these conversations. A huge shout-out for you, Travis. We also have Ace. We got Lisa Severe. I don't know if I shouted you out already. Oh, well, I think I'm starting to repeat. Chase R. I'm going to go ahead and get the heck on out of here, folks. I appreciate you all tuning in. I will see you Thursday for the for the Globebusters Tech. That's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. You're not going to want to miss it. That is where you get your nerd niche. You get to learn the fine details, and as we build the model for the true Earth, it's going to be awesome. You're not going to want to miss a single episode. And then we may do another debate tomorrow. But until then, peace. I hope you guys all have a good one.